It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And MIA this week is Merman. Where's Merman hanging out? What's going on? Why isn't he here?
Merman is looking for a job in all the wrong places.
Oh. Okay. So the introduction's out of the way. Let's rage on.
Well, thanks to all been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform. Or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. If you cannot commit to membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible, horrible, completely unwatchable film. And we'll watch it. If it played anywhere in a cinema in the world. Now, and this is different than last week for sure, but let's get to rage.
All right. By the way, do we have anything for Merman, or is it like this a completely Merman free episode? No predictions, no nothing.
Merman free episode.
All right, people, you might as well stop listening.
That's right.
Merman's not here. Full disclosure, right. Merman's not here. He's not contributing anything this week. So if you came for the Merman, just hit stop right now. It's over for you.
Yep. Come back next week.
But if you want to hear us yammer on for another 45 minutes, and
stick around.
Stick around.
I love this music. I wish we were at a dance club right now. I wasn't so sick. I'd be like shaking my money maker all over the place.
Like the Northern Pike's song.
Yeah.
That. Dancing in a dance club. I can't remember the words. How can I not remember the words? All I remember is we go up, 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 down, down, down.
Down. I just remember she ain't pretty. She just looks that way.
Yeah. I had 2 jobs. I had dishwater hands, and on the weekend in a rock and roll band. One Friday night in a hotel bar, in walked a girl who looked like a movie star.
Movie star.
She ain't pretty. She just looks that way.
They may have never heard of the Northern Pikes, but it's definitely a band you should check out.
Yeah, they actually have some really good songs. Like really good songs. That Snow in June album, the worst song on it is She Ain't Pretty, and it's still a catchy little ditty.
Yeah, I think it was their number 1 song.
Oh,
you're right,
easily.
I agree. It's their worst song on the album for sure.
At any rate,
enough about the Northern Pikes. We're going to talk about further north, and there's no fish involved. It's called Red One.
Red One.
So, the greatest thing about this movie is the Christmas science magic is all so sound and makes complete sense. Am I right or am I right?
It doesn't make perfect sense.
Oh, okay. Well, it kind of made sense to me. There is a lot in it that kids are going to love, because it really is a kids' movie. It's heartwarming Christmas tale of redemption, caring for mankind, and ultimately a family buddy action film with the greatest film star ever created. And who's that?
That would be The Rock.
That's right, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But the real message here is essential oils are in short demand at Christmas, apparently. And when these things happen, angry women shoppers may either A, murder someone, or slap someone. Now, speaking of slaps, this had all my favorite things about Christmas in it. And what are those, you ask? Well, here's my list.
All right.
Krampus.
Check.
And Krampusschloop. AKA the German celebration of Slap Club.
Yeah.
Which, if you've been listening to us for more than 3 or 4 years, you know that we are a big fan of Slap Club. No matter where it is, if it's in the German countryside where we get Krampus, we're 100% dialed into Slap Club, especially if it's with Krampus. Which of course is the most festive thing anyone can partake in. And just about wraps up my favorite things about Christmas movies.
Yes.
I mean, I do like the fantasy side of this film, but not as much as I love Krampus. I also like witches, killer snowmen, chickens who are smarter than the hounds of hell. The downside of this movie, though, is most of the CGI is completely horrible and is super abundant. The story, I literally predicted every single thing that happened. And as mentioned earlier, it really is a movie for kids or people who like Christmas movies, which normally I do not. And all the reasons I've already mentioned. So to recap, I like Krampus. I like The Rock. I like J.K. Simmons. Captain America could have been played by anyone. He really added nothing to this movie. There were some fun scenes. I didn't completely hate this, so it was meh. But as a disclaimer, it's a children's movie, meh. If I was rating this for adults, I would say it's still going to be a meh, but it's going to be a very low meh, and that's just because anything. I think I'm on the church of Bryce here. Is that if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's in a movie, it's worth it just to see because he's there. That's pretty much the only reason to see this movie is
and
The Rock.
It's so weird to say, but The Rock really, for some reason, I'm telling you, he's the last living movie star. You make the argument that Tom Cruise is still a movie star. That star has faded, my friend. The last living movie star is The Rock. There is no other. Dwayne Johnson is the only movie star walking the face of the earth right now. There's lots of actors. There's lots of tremendous actors, but there's only one movie star, and his name is The Rock. Now, and that's the whole thing. I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, I should be hating this. Like, there's nothing in this that says this is a Bryce movie. The special effects are awful. It's just awful. The story is stupid. Like, everything in this is so dumb, but it's got The Rock. And I'd be lying to you if I told you that I didn't laugh numerous times in this movie, because I did. Somehow, even with the bad CGI, the ridiculous story, like there's nothing in this that I should have liked it at all. I should be raging so hard, but I enjoyed it, and I don't even know why. I had a goofy grin on my face for most of this movie, knowing that I'm above this, but apparently I'm not.
No,
now, having said that, just like you, like I can't. Everything you said, I completely agree with. Like everything. And at the end of the day, it's still meh because it was entertaining, even with all its faults. And there's so many faults. There is so many faults. But at the end of the day, it was entertaining. The Rock does what The Rock does. It's a meh.
Okay, so can we talk about the chicken?
Sure.
I think that was the best scene in the movie. I couldn't stop laughing. Yeah. I forget what her name was. Was it Helen? I think it was something like Helen the chicken.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. It's just
I'm just like, where did that come from? Like there's so many things in this that it's kind of like it's Christmas magic lore is all you can say, right? But I think you know what I think, and you know, I think I can speak for both of us. We're not riddled with nostalgia for films in general because we are always looking for the next greatest film.
Mm-hmm.
But there's things that are kind of implanted in your psyche that it's like when you see a movie like this, and this is why I think I liked it, and maybe it's the reason you liked it, is because we grew up with Rankin and Bass. Mm-hmm. And you know, I still watch a Rankin and Bass film, and it still brings joy to my heart, no matter where I'm at, even though they're telling Christmas tales. But I mean, characters like the Snow Miser and the Heat Miser and Yukon Cornelius and things like that. Like it just, that's what this movie had in it. It created another I think there's going to be a part 2 of this. Like, I think it's going to be the Santa Claus thing all over again.
Yeah.
Because, it's created this new lore that there's so much that they can uncover with it, right? Like like the Santa Claus did with Jack Frost and that type of thing, right? Like, there's so many characters they can bring into this whole universe that I think we're going to get to see. And you know what? I was okay with this.
It's fine. Bring on another one, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, well, the next film we saw is called A Real Pain.
Yes.
And I believe it's written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg. If my memory serves me.
You believe correctly.
There you go. So Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin, 2 cousins, born 3 weeks apart, and are going to Poland to pay tribute to their grandmother who passed away recently. This was hard to watch, not because of the content of the Jewish/Polish history, which was hard at times because of the emotions that are brought to the surface. No, it's because every single time that Kieran Culkin opened his mouth, I could not stop laughing. It's funny because sometimes the things he says seem silly or they're off-putting, but ultimately everything he says comes from a place of kindness, equality, and understanding, even if he doesn't seem like he has it. And the scene that sums this up the most is the scene where Culkin gets the entire tour group to pose in front of an Allied statue as Eisenberg is equally appalled and shocked by all his actions. The scene seems so natural and hilarious, not as offensive as Eisenberg thinks it's going to be, but pulls the tour together in a comedic way. The whole movie is Culkin pushing Eisenberg's buttons, trying to loosen him up. The film shows both talents of these 2 great actors. Eisenberg's Woody Allenisms meets Culkin's stripped-down Owen Wilsonisms. But through it all, this film is tender and heartfelt and genuine. Oh, and also it's absolutely mondo and completely unexpected ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this I love Kieran Culkin, always have loved Kieran Culkin, but oh my God, he's never been this entertaining. Like it,
no.
And this is, and credit to Eisenberg, because man, did he write one heck of a character, and I'm glad he gave the role to Kieran Culkin, because as Benji, oh my God, he's just. You're right. It's almost distracting because you're laughing through the whole thing every time he opens his mouth. It's gold, and and as you say, his character, it comes from a place of understanding, but it's presented in a way that at first you might like, what? Like, what is this guy's deal? But then after you realize, oh, I know what this guy's deal is. This guy is genuinely a really good person. He's just gone through some stuff, and this is what you get. And what you get is just a really, really entertaining character study between these 2 brothers. The journey that they take from where they start to where they finish, the way that Eisenberg's character David, throughout the whole thing, he truly cares for his cousin, but by the end of it, it's on a different level and a different understanding. And these 2 that maybe didn't hang out so much for years and years were forced into this situation. And and those are kind of some of the best movies, is when you take these 2 that they've grown up together, but they haven't been together in a while, and now all of a sudden this movie focuses on these 2 reconnecting. And when you get a movie of reconnection, quite often it works really well. And when you get Jesse Eisenberg writing it, my God, am I looking forward to it. And you kind of put in the Woody Allen-isms in there. This is like a Woody Allen movie, and it's like one of the really, really good Woody Allen movies. Like, we're talking early Woody Allen, not Woody Allen always has got
not Match Point. Woody Allen.
Exactly. Not Woody Allen going I don't know what the heck he was doing with that movie, but
He was,
but yeah.
he was too traumatized by his pedophilia.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. But yeah, the dialogue is just spot on. It's so funny, so heartwarming, and I tell you, it is one of the better characters that has been written in a long time. Like Benji is just this character is I just love this character. So yeah, this was absolutely Mondo. There's nothing not to like in this movie.
Yeah, I can't see anybody seeing this movie and going, "Oh, that was a terrible movie." Like,
no,
there's movies that we love. I can absolutely know.
Sometimes I know that people are going to hate them. Yeah, it's like exactly. it's like this is a Jim and Bryce movie, and maybe not for the masses.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but this is for the masses.
3-hour movies that take place walking in the Arctic. I remember that one.
Yes, so good.
But it was so good. But yeah, not everyone's going to be able to watch that. This is, I think, a movie everybody should see, and see it with your family. Like, see it because people are going to see themselves in these characters at different times, and yeah, it's such a heartwarming film. I want to see it again.
As do I.
And I don't say that much about films.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we got a surprise film last night. So one of our
talk about disappointing surprise.
Yeah. So
I was so.
The funniest thing about it is we were trying to figure out what movie it was, and Bryce had thought that we were going to get a horror movie. I don't know where it came from.
I saw something that said, okay, don't buy this ticket if you don't like the horror genre. Because we were buying a ticket it was like a mystery screening. We didn't know what we were seeing going into it. And there was a little warning. Maybe it's in my head because I couldn't find it again afterwards. But I swear I saw something somewhere that said, this is going to be of the horror genre. So if that's not your thing, don't buy this ticket. And so then I was convinced it was going to be a horror movie. I had in my mind it was going to be Werewolves, which is coming out soon.
Yeah, that's right. It is coming out, yeah. It's probably just not coming out soon enough.
Werewolves, it was not, my friend. Werewolves, it was not.
No, but I can tell you that it was horrific. That's what I can tell you.
Oh, there was so much.
There was horror in
there. Was a lot of horror.
In my eyes. All right, well, let me tell you what the surprise movie we have. So the good thing about it is that we've been seeing the trailers for this for, I think, 30 years.
Yeah.
And we were going to have to watch 2 movies that we really didn't want to watch next week. So now we don't have to watch it because we've seen it ahead of time.
Like a Band-Aid, rip it off.
It's Gladiator II.
Yes, Gladiator II.
That's right.
Woo!
Okay, so... Yeah,
the most anticipated movie of the year. By somebody, I'm sure.
100%
Not
by
us.
somebody. So Hollywood just isn't even trying anymore. This was everything I hate about what Hollywood has become. A sequel 30 years in the making, where the only thing it has going for it is nostalgia for a movie that never needed a remake, which is almost exactly what this was. Basically the same story, except this one is terribly tied to the first one, with scenes that are added in that didn't exist. They have a kid that is supposed to be, well, I don't want to spoil too much in this, although people who watch this are going to be, I'm sure, disappointed, but the kid is like completely a different age than when the original movie came out. It's like they didn't watch the first Gladiator. They just said, okay, this scene's in there. Let's just go search through the movie and basically put a scene in there, and then we'll just edit in some words that didn't exist, and so they're trying to tie it together, and it's just like, what, there could have been a brand new movie about gladiators that wasn't tied to the original, and I'm still not saying it would have been great, but I'm saying it would have been better than what this was. So we also get the worst CGI battle scenes that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, from the opening scene, it's like, what are those cartoon ships doing in that cartoon water? Yeah. It was so horrible. Right?
It's another one that was apparently going for the best animated feature at this year's Academy Awards because there's so much animation in it.
It's going to be a competition between this and here.
It's computer animation.
It has the worst CGI battle scenes ever. The worst CGI water, CGI fire, animals, including, I think, the one they were making was a baboon.
I think they were baboons,
Well, they showed ones that had hair that were definitely baboons, and then they had ones that were not, that looked completely horrible. They had CGI sharks. They had CGI rhinos. They had the original tiger from the first movie. The CGI was probably worse. So, because it was only 30 years ago. But those CGI tigers, they just kept that same clip. It was probably something that another scene they stole from the original movies. Like, what would be funny is if we took the CGI tiger from the first movie and put him in this and see if anybody notices. I noticed because it's horrible. Yeah. And, of course, not to ignore the CGI monkey. We just didn't get enough monkey. That's the subtext of this movie. Is Gladiator II, we just didn't get enough monkey.
Yes.
So at no point did I buy anything this film was selling, as they have event after event after event that don't fit. But what I hated most was the fight scenes. Half the time, the archers can't hit the broadside of a barn. But when they need to kill a very important character, so I'm not going to say who.
Everybody hits him.
Every single arrow hits him. And I'm just like, what? Like, we just saw a scene like 5 minutes ago where they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn and they were getting killed by people walking up to them when they got arrows. Like, it was just scene after scene of just scene like this. So I'm guessing that this was for some kind of Hollywood effect that they could hit the mark on this one time. It's like, you know what, when it's important, we do hit the mark. Because it was maybe, right? I'm guessing that's the Hollywood effect. Maybe. This was truly a horror film for me on every level of filmmaking. This was a hard rage. Everything I expected it was going to be, it was, and worse. And we talked a little bit about that, but I'll let you talk about it. And I got a few things to unpack.
Yeah, I'm Gladiator 2, Blake. It makes you ask the question. So why did they make this? Okay, apparently they made it because Ridley Scott really wanted to do that flooded Colosseum scene. So it brings up some questions. How did they get these ships to the Colosseum? Like, yep. I don't understand that. Like, so
or how did they get sharks to be alive?
Well, that's the other thing. And how did they transport the sharks from the sea to the like, how did any of this happen?
Back in the day, they didn't have aquariums.
No, it made absolutely no sense. And yeah, this Colosseum with it looks like fresh water in it. I mean, everything must have been just sealed airtight and everything. Like, what is going on right now? What kind of science fiction are we dealing with right now? It's like, okay, for this one battle, we're gonna get these ships from the sea all the way to the Colosseum. I don't know how the hell they did it. It's not like they could just put it on a trailer.
Yep.
Hook it up to a semi and haul it over there. So it had to be like some major endeavor with, I don't know, but back then, what did they move stuff with, like giant logs or something? I don't know. Also, they could do this one battle. My other question.
And every single person that falls into the water gets eaten?
Yeah, but...
Right? Like, have you ever seen sharks? That's not how sharks operate.
No,
like, it was just...
If they're full, they can come up the most delicious looking human ever and go, I'm full. I've already had my fill. I'm not going to gorge myself. That's why you don't see any fat sharks, because they don't just eat and eat and eat.
That's right, until they explode like dogs do.
Exactly. Except for that animated movie Shark Bite. That shark's pretty fat. I think he's eating too much, but...
Yeah, I think so too.
But that's different. But not that different though, because it's animated, and so is this movie.
Yeah.
So, the other thing is the baboon sequence with all the baboons. What happened there? There was like a ton of baboons, and then all of a sudden he kills one of them, And then we see one just kind of looking on where they were like all rabid and jumping on everybody. And like, where did they all go? Because then all of a sudden they pull back and there's like one standing there and he's just kind of just hanging out. Like, I don't understand.
They were afraid.
I don't understand. That's what it was. So he killed one of them. So they all were afraid and went and hid. Where could they hide? They're in the Coliseum. There was nowhere to hide. There isn't like a little shack in there where they all huddled it. Like, I don't understand. Where did they all go?
They dug a hole.
They dug a hole. They should have showed them digging a hole then so that I could have some closure on this. This whole thing was so frustrating. Nothing made any sense. I hated this movie. I hated it. And I'm full disclosure, last 20 minutes, I have no idea what happened because all of a sudden I opened my eyes and the closing credits were running. So I'm gonna be honest. I honestly did not see the end of this. I have no clue what happened at the end. Not a clue, because I slept through it. Because I could not keep my eyes open because this was so boring. And I think I got exhausted from rolling my eyes. Yeah. Finally, the exhaustion of the continuous rolling of the eyes got it to the point where my eyelids got heavy and I just couldn't keep them open anymore because I was just so dumbfounded by everything that was going on the screen. It was exhausting, the ridiculousness.
The best part about this movie actually was that every time something super ridiculous would happen, we'd look at each other.
Yeah, it's just like, what is going on? Occasionally we give each other the thumbs up. It's like, this is terrible. What a piece of crap this movie was.
There was another funny thing that happened while this movie was on. I guess somebody near the front opened their phone.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
You know, I never think that's cool, but I'm sure the guy that opened his phone probably thought, I can't watch this anymore. I'd rather watch something on YouTube. But somebody got mad at him. So, I'm not a big fan. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of people watching, opening their phones in movies, but.
Yeah,
it's this bad.
I totally understand why the guy said it, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man. This is Gladiator II. Really who cares what he's doing? It's like the distraction from his screen is probably welcome at this point because it takes your eyes off the movie screen for a second.
Exactly. So okay. There's
by the way, just in case you were wondering, this was a rage. Rage. Anyways,
you forgot the other ones. We
whatever
aligned on everything.
Yeah, we aligned on everything, but this was the one that really needed to be exclamation point on.
Just a couple of things that I pulled out. So
yes,
nothing was a surprise in this film. Nothing. Zero things happened that we were like, oh wow, that's a surprise. So at some point the mom. Mm-hmm. This, you know what? These may be a little bit of spoilers. So, if you're planning on seeing Gladiator II this coming weekend,
please don't.
Then these are going to be some spoilers for you. So maybe don't listen to this. Come back and listen to it afterwards. But, so the mom becomes a prisoner, like the mom that was in the first one, that was Joaquin Phoenix's sister.
Yeah.
And so now she's back in the movie, married to Oscar Isaac, and she becomes a prisoner.
Pedro Pascal.
Oh, sorry, Pedro Pascal. Sorry, they both have beautiful hair. I can't,
Like Oscar Isaac. What movie were we watching?
No, I know. It's not. Well, I don't know why I said that. So anyway, they're married, and she becomes a prisoner, and she's just walking all over she's just walking all over the castle and just do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And you're just like, aren't you a prisoner? Like, shouldn't you be locked up because you were, doing something you shouldn't be? But no. She just walks around, does whatever she wants. And I was just like, what? And the fighting scenes, like, I don't know about you, but I was laughing at most of the fighting scenes. Like,
they're hilarious.
There was scenes that looked like the worst 70s kung fu movies, where the swords are
the swords
top, and the person ducks, and it's just like, this is like, did they put anything, like, did they spend like, okay, usually you get like an action choreographer to come in and do that. In this, I think they just said, you know what, just fake it. Like, we got to spend too much money on CGI. Let's just play with wooden swords and then like do what feels natural.
CGI baboons aren't cheap.
Yeah, CGI baboons aren't like, especially horrible CGI baboons. Like, not even like in contrast to that, right? Like, here's another good thing about this. We got the worst CGI that's ever been in any movie ever. Probably worse than the original Gladiator, if there was any CGI. I don't know. And we've seen movies that have apes in them, just as recent as this year, which you still think that they were using makeup for these apes. Why didn't they get the special effects team that did the Planet of the Apes movies?
Yep.
Because those are all brilliant.
Yep.
But no, they decided to make the worst CGI that's ever been created.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
Yes.
Yeah, there was this. Oh, yeah. I was so disappointed when this was a surprise, because I was like, I really was hoping, because I'm not feeling well, and that's why we're recording remote today. I'm like, I want to see a good horror movie, but instead, I was just horrified instead.
Yeah, you and me both, mister. This was not good. Not.
You know what buttons to push?
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
All right. I guess there's no real surprise. My rage here is I got the worst Christmas present ever. I thought I was going to get a surprise movie. That was awesome. The only good thing about us seeing that movie is we were back at Landmark, our favorite cinema, where we got a choice of multiple flavors of soda that we wanted. And we got our favorite Ozempic commercial. We got our favorite pizza commercial.
Yes.
But then it was like...
I got my birthday popcorn. Don't forget about my birthday popcorn.
And your birthday popcorn. And it was like waking up Christmas morning as a kid, and like you're like, oh, you're gonna be getting a Christmas present, and your present is gonna be one of the greatest things you've ever received. And instead of opening up a BB gun, you open up a pair of socks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you know what? I don't want no fucking socks.
No.
I wanted my BB gun. And that's my rage this week. It wasn't so much that I had to watch that movie, because we were going to have to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
But it was the fact that it was like, I thought this is going to be a surprise that I'm going to enjoy. And it was not a surprise that I enjoyed. So that's my rage this week, is if you're going to tell me it's a surprise, make sure it's a good surprise.
Cool.
And it solidified my belief that
Yes.
people need to retire when they get old and directing in the director's chair.
There you go. I'm going to restart my rage music because you stammered over my intro drum beat. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready now. I'm done.
I love that intro drum. All right. My rage is pretty simple. It's that I had to see Gladiator II this week, because I already had the title for my episode, for the episode next week, with thinking that I was going to see Gladiator 2 and Wicked in the same week. It was going to be like CGI Monkey week, but now that's gone, because we're only getting one CGI Monkey movie. Although, were there any CGI monkeys in Red 1? I don't think there were.
No, there was a CGI chicken.
Yeah.
There was a CGI
bear,
dog.
polar bear.
There was a CGI polar bear.
Yeah.
No,
There's
no monkeys.
Some sort of weird demon guys, CGI.
There was no monkeys in A Real Pain either. So, But you know what? You could call this CGI Monkey 1, and next week could be CGI Monkey 2.
This time it's personal.
This time it's personal.
All right. That's enough about that.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Oh, Alrighty, our lists.
Yes.
So if you are listening for the first time and you've never listened to our podcast, go to our website, filmrageyyc.com, and check out our page called The Lists, where we have 5 lists. We have the mesmerizing and the repulsive, we have the doubted and the undoubted, and we have the once mesmerizing, no longer mesmerizing. So we've been trying to complete our mesmerize-offs of late, and because we truly believe that especially in a movie, if you have 2 mesmerizing actors and they come up against each other, that just like Highlander 1, not all the other ones, but Highlander 1, that there can only be one mesmerizing person in this film. So we were asked by the Mur to watch Dunkirk, which had Tom Hardy and Mark Rylance. And the issue with this movie is Tom Hardy is actually in this movie for more than 5 minutes, because that's one of the criteria that we have. But the challenge is that Tom Hardy's wearing a mask the entire movie. So you can't really judge him on his acting when you can't even see his face. So like I couldn't say it would be a fair fight, because Tom Hardy had no chance to act when he was sitting in the plane, because he's wearing like one of those fighter masks that they wear. So I mean, because what we got was Tom Hardy in a mask acting against one of the most brilliant actors of all time. It's like we needed him to be able to show what he can do, and wearing a mask didn't help. So I couldn't vote for Mark Rylance, because I just said it wasn't fair to Tom Hardy. So because he had no chance of being mesmerizing, he was just a prop.
So you're passing?
Yeah, we can't vote because Tom Hardy wasn't acting. It was like he was an animated character. Mark Rylance was Mark Rylance.
Mark Rylance himself. Yeah. All right. You know what? That's fair.
And the funniest thing is we got Barry in there, that he often gives people a run for their money. Yeah. Right. So those two together, they worked so well together, though. Yeah. Like, I don't think have we made Barry?
Barry Keoghan?
Yeah, is he mesmerizing?
I don't know.
Hold on. Let's find out.
That is an interesting question.
We're just looking up to see if
Barry Keoghan is on our mesmerizing list. I don't think he is.
Yeah, I don't think so too, because I think the good thing is we have searches. No, he's not. So
I mean, if he was, I think he gets booted in this film anyways.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he was great. He was great.
Yeah, he was really great in it. Actually, everybody was great in this.
Yeah, no,
Cillian Murphy was great.
It's a really well acted movie.
Yeah, and unlike you, I was happy to rewatch it. In fact, my wife watched it with me. She'd never seen it, so she was like, "Oh, this is
that would be yeah." Well, then that was worth doing by itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's November, so Remembrance Day stuff, right? Might as well.
There you go.
Cool. All right, well, we don't have anything for next week because the Mur's not here. Plus, we have God only knows what's happening this week, because we have a film festival coming up, which I'll be attending, hopefully, if I'm feeling better. And you may or may not see some too. So I don't even know what we're going to be doing for next week, but it could be a pretty jam-packed week. So.
Last week on Rage or Dare, Jim desperately wanted to pull from Bryce's bag of rom-coms and musicals, but alas, just like last week's intro, Bryce is still just dialing it in. Come on, Bryce. So instead, Jim pulled from our faithful listener dare bag, where he got Adam Sandler's first movie, Going Overboard. This week, it's both my little ragelings' turn when they get to Casey, that's right, boys, I'm not giving you a choice. Buckle up, because Daddy's got some rage justice to dole out. All right, let's check in with Jim and see if Adam Sandler in his film debut is as awesome as Jim remembered him, or was he more like Jim remembers him in Hubie Halloween? What's that, Jim? Hubie Halloween made you rage? Oh my. I think our listeners are in for a treat.
Hey, Hubie Halloween was fine. I laughed.
It was an escalating level of horror that Adam Sandler delivers, where he's got the most annoying voice that has ever existed, and he did it for an entire movie.
I know, it was so good.
Completely awful.
Ah,
It's horrible.
whatever. You know not what you speak.
I know everything that I speak. All right, okay, so going overboard, or the unsinkable Shecky Moskowitz, instead of a porn movie the guy puts in to his VHS machine to watch, that is how this all started. In a direct quote here from Sandler in a no-budget movie. 5 minutes in, and I'm already covering my ears because the music was like a Looney Tunes type music that was completely canned, but not funny or good Looney Tunes music. More like torturous, horrible Looney Tunes music. Sound mix was horrible, and every single person in this movie made me want to withdraw money from my retirement investment early, pay the penalties for early withdrawal, go online, find the cheapest cruise going anywhere, I didn't care, fly there and get on a boat and get out to sea and then throw myself off the top deck into hopefully ice cold water, which would have probably killed me so that I would not have to listen to any of this any longer. But I ended up making a compromise. I just plugged my ears and turned on the subtitles because I couldn't stand listening to anyone. I couldn't stand listening to the horrible sound mix. It's basically Adam Sandler in a role where he is a horrible actor and he's not funny, but he's following this comic on the ship, but neither of them are funny. So I wasn't sure if this was a documentary or if it was a comedy. Either way, I was not enjoying either. Oh, and Sandler is a waiter on the boat, and everyone on the ship is also a complete idiot. Between Sandler's idiocy, the idiot rock star, the idiot best friend of Sandler, the idiot comedian, I was just hoping one person in this would not be a complete idiot. But alas, that was not happening. Then Rocky's brother-in-law shows up, who plays Noriega, and he sees a Miss Australia talk negatively about him on a videotape. Again, these are videotapes. This isn't live stuff. So he's watching a videotape. How did Noriega get a fucking videotape that is recorded on this ship, and then he has to go find the ship to try and kill her? Like, it made no sense. Yeah, I'm not sure why either. But in a giant ocean, the killers find the ship. What a surprise. The non-funny comedian is thought to be overboard. I guess maybe that's why it's going overboard.
Yes.
I don't know. So Sandler gets his big break. He takes over as the comedian of the ship. Look, this movie was really painful to watch. The production values were so horrible and awful. Nothing was funny, and everyone in this movie could not act to save their souls and was completely annoying through this entire thing. The only thing that didn't upset me was that Sandler didn't use one of his two stupid voices that he uses all the time now. Like, if he's in a comedy, he has two voices, and both of them grate on my nerves to the point of wanting to gouge my ears out or murder someone next to me. He didn't. He had a normal voice. This was an hour and a half of torturous rage. This was the worst thing I've seen on this horrible podcast that we do, because this was complete torture. I hated every second of this movie. It was just not good. It's horrible. Bryce would probably like it though, because for some reason he likes Adam Sandler in horrible movies. Like, he can't act, and nobody in this movie could act. It was really a no-budget movie. Like, I don't know how they just probably were doing like a pirate videotaping on this cruise ship that they all went on, I'm guessing, because it was just awful. It's horrible.
Rage!
Now, have you seen this?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you'd probably like it. You should probably watch it. I'm anxious to know.
Yeah, you know what? You've made a compelling case for it, to be honest. I'm thinking it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, you're going to watch that before you watch El Conte. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
El Conte's on the list. I'm definitely watching it soon.
Yeah. You're going to eventually
Soonish.
watch it because I put it in the dare bag just so I can have you watch it.
Yes.
All right. So now what are we going to watch for next week?
I don't know. Well, I know. I just plucked it out of Casey's bag here.
Yep.
I realize that everybody's got a problem with this movie, but I mean, it's exactly the same movie shot for shot. So, I mean, there's no reason that it should have been made, but at the
Is it
same
Psycho?
time, it's Psycho. At the same time, it's not like it's bad. It's not like it's terribly made. It's not like it's poorly acted. It's just the exact same movie again, but in color. So, whatever.
So are you trying to make a case that we shouldn't have to watch it, or?
Well, no, I'll watch it again. That's fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. It doesn't have what the original had. It absolutely is unnecessary and never should have been made. Which it was just exactly what I'm going to say next week after watching it. But it's the same movie, like shot for shot. You can run them side by side, and he literally set up the same shots. Everything's the same length of time. Everything's the same. So, did you like Psycho? Yeah, I love Psycho. Well, then I realize this was unnecessary, but it's not. I mean, I guess you can rage. I see, once again, this is what I should be saying next week. I guess you can rage because it absolutely shouldn't have been made. But I believe in my heart of hearts that was Gus Van Sant's point. There were all these things that they wanted him to do, and they wanted him to remake this movie. And he's like, fine, I'll remake it. I'll show you idiots. I'm going to actually shoot it shot for shot, exactly how it was done before. Choke on that.
He basically said
this was his middle finger to the studios. Absolutely was.
Movie. It's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Why would I remake it?
Why would I remake it? Exactly. So anyways.
He could have just said no.
He could have, but I think he was trying to prove a point. Although it's a point that's kind of a blemish on his career. But I think it depends on how you look at it, though. I don't think it should be a blemish on his career. It should be just him pointing out the ridiculousness of the studios.
Well,
At any rate,
I guess we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah,
next
I
week.
guess I've already talked about it, but no. You know what? Maybe I'll watch it again and it'll bug me this time. But I think it just, every time it's like, it's the same movie, so whatever. It's just in color and, it's not Hitchcock, but that was the point.
What year did this one come out?
1998.
98.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm anxious to see it because sometimes, what's his face? Vince Vaughn annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah,
And sometimes he doesn't. So
Yeah, he's fine in this. Everybody's fine. Anne Hesh is fine in this. Everybody, it's the same movie, but, with younger people. What he should have done is got like everybody from the original and just put them back in it.
that'd be funny.
That would have really been hilarious, although the studio wouldn't have probably greenlit that. All right, sir.
Nice. Alrighty then. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to Extended Filmic Family, who you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, the video photographer, and the voice of Rage there, our god of rage. Find us on social media. We're at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. And there is a Christmas, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah sale, I guess, going on right now. So get on our stuff and buy some stuff for your mommy and daddy and little children. We always want to make this Raging Blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, or send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, please, please make us a rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.